Hello then, a very good morning to all of you all tuning into Sports Today for this morning wrap. Well, if you're a Pakistani supporter and if you're watching this, well, you wouldn't be extremely pleased right now because it's not the kind of start to the day that you would have liked. A historic defeat for Pakistan over there in Karachi. And with that defeat in the third test match, they've now been whitewashed for the first time in the history of the game at home. 3-0 is what the scoreline needs, and not a single win that Pakistan could register. It started off in Rawalpindi in that absolute road for track where they were battered. We thought that they would possibly be able to stage a comeback, but England were the superior team. Then the action shifted to Multan and Pakistan again. It looked like they would give some sort of a fight, but England would run away winners over there as well. And over to Karachi, where there was, where you thought there'd be a face-saving act in many ways for Pakistan, but they failed to turn up there as well. And a lot of harsh criticism that Babar Azam is having to face now, because as a result of the series whitewash, now Pakistan in many ways aren't in contention for the WTC final, which is going to take place in a few months' time. In fact, Pakistan have now slipped to the 7th position as far as the World Test Championship goes. Australia, speaking of the World Test Championship, happen to be right up top in the first position as of now. India are in second. The other teams that are in contention are Sri Lanka and South Africa. But speaking of this huge loss that Pakistan have had to face at home, yes, a lot of humiliation there that the team has to face, a lot of criticism that Babar Azam is facing for his captaincy, but a lot of thinking that this Pakistan team will perhaps have to do, given that in both the innings, if you see in this particular test match, it was that Babar Azam wicket which was the key, and that triggered the collapse, especially in the second innings. If you saw Babar Azam again being amongst the runs over there, but after his wicket fell, there was a complete collapse of that middle order, and it was the debutant Rehan Ahmed who ran through that Pakistan middle order and gave them no chance of coming back. And you would argue that perhaps, Pakistan, given the kind of start that they had in the first innings, they should have posted another, about 70-75 more runs, or perhaps even more than that. But again, it was that Babar Azam wicket that sort of changed the momentum, and there's no coming back for Pakistan. And credit to England for the brand of cricket that they're playing. You thought that this was not sustainable. This was something that will be put to test in the subcontinent, but it isn't turning out to be the case, because they've done something miraculous. Remember, they visited Pakistan after 17 years. Just the second match that they played in Karachi, and they managed to win that match as well. By the way, just a little trivia for all of you all: 3 matches is what Pakistan have ever lost at Karachi. It is pretty much their fortress today. Today's loss is the third loss that they faced, but 2 out of those 3 losses have come at the hands of the English. So the English definitely enjoying their time in Karachi. And Babar Azam, well, facing criticism. Danish Kaneria, one of the former Pakistan cricketers, has gone ahead and criticized his captaincy. He said he's an absolute zero when it comes to captaincy, and he should learn a thing or two as far as white ball, beg your pardon, red ball captaincy goes. He should learn a thing or two from Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum as to how to go about things, and the way he utilized his bowlers. A couple of times the field setting as well was also criticized, not being attacking enough at home. These are the kind of criticisms that Babar Azam is having to face at the moment. And we'll just try and take some comments as well before we go ahead and update you with the other stories happening in the world of sport. Okay, Spicy Esports says that reality check for Pakistan team and Babar Azam. Babar is tactically the same as KL, says Apoorv Tiwari. Well, you could argue, but Apoorv, I've got to, I'll disagree with you over there, because unlike Babar, you saw KL Rahul did, deploy some sort of attacking tactics against Bangladesh in that first test match that took place at Chattogram. So yeah, a bit of difference there in approach, I would say, from Babar Azam and KL Rahul. with the way that he used his bowlers, bringing in Kuldeep early in the first innings, reading the conditions well, using his bowlers well, with that attacking field set that India had in the first innings against Bangladesh. Well, I would say that's not the kind of intent that you saw from Babar Azam in this third Test match. That took place in Karachi, and that's what separates the two captains at the moment, how they've led their teams respectively of late, and that'll be the differentiator for me. But having said that, when will the English team come to India? Well, yes, that's happening very soon. The English team's coming to India. Australia as well, as we know, are coming to India, and India going to be playing 4 Test matches, by the way, against Australia, and that's going to be holding the key for India as far as India's prospects for the World Test Championship go, because India is still in it, but India, going by the mathematics as things stand, of course, we'll be doing a detailed video on how things stand in the World Test Championship. But India, as things stand, will have to win 2 of the 4 Test matches that they will play against Australia. So that's going to be the key for India. Besides that, India will have to win the second Test match also against Pakistan. So 4 Test matches which are going to take place against Australia in India. India will at least have to win 2 of those to be able to give themselves a chance to reach the World Test Championship for the second consecutive time. Also, let's just talk about what's happening otherwise in the world of sport. Speaking of Test cricket itself, Surya Kumar Yadav, a man we've been talking about and raving over for the last 1 year with his exploits in the white ball format, and especially the T20 format. He will be playing his Ranji Trophy, first Ranji Trophy match in about 3 years' time. He's going to be representing Mumbai as they take on Hyderabad, and he's looking forward to making a mark because it's a format that he says he absolutely loves, and he feels, unlike what is widely believed and widely regarded, he feels that he is an all format player, and he could in fact go ahead and make his debut for India as well. So he's very excited about playing his first Ranji Trophy match. Remember, he's got 14 first class centuries as well. So he's got the numbers. He feels that, it was his form in first class cricket, it was his game in the first class cricket that gave him prominence. And yes, of course, we know about his exploits in the white ball format of the game, but he relishes the opportunity, and he feels that Test cricket is where he would next want to leave his imprint. Also, now talking of football, yes, of course, you're all aware of the fact that Argentina have won the World Cup. But speaking of the defending champions, France, well, they are also now back in Paris. The team has landed, and they were greeted with a lot of supporters over there. You saw chanting, you saw the players being welcomed very warmly by the supporters, and credit to the way the French team played as well. We're still to get an update as to when the Argentina team will be reaching Buenos Aires. You expect some crazy celebrations out there, celebrations which I believe wouldn't have stopped as far as the World Cup win goes. That's with regards to the 2 finalists. Remember, there is a lot of football coming your way as well, because the Premier League and the other leagues as well will resume in just about a week's time, and we here at Sports Today will continue to give you all the updates when it comes to the world of sports. But speaking of more news from the world of cricket, we're also getting to know that Australia's stand-in captain for the ongoing T20 series against India, that is Alyssa Healy, she's been ruled out of the 5th and the final T20I which will take place, and the reason for Healy's injury is said to be a calf strain. So Alyssa Healy will not be available for Australia. They've already seen the series, but Alyssa Healy will not be available because of a side strain. So that's all that we have for you here in the morning sports wrap here on Sports Today. Let's just see if we can quickly take a couple of questions before we call it a wrap. Virat shouldn't stop playing, says Spicy Sports. Yes, of course, Virat has not given any sort of an impression that he wants to relent, or he wants to let up in any format of the game. Benzema retirement, yes, of course, that is something we here at Sports Today told you last evening as well, that Benzema did in fact decide to hang up his boots for the international team. 37 goals, remember, for him in 96 appearances for France. A career, when you talk about national football, which didn't really take off, because remember there was that 5-year pause as well over there, and which is why perhaps he fell behind in that race to become the highest goal scorer for France. He just stopped. He managed just 37 goals in 96 appearances. Part of the reason was because he was away for 5 years because of his alleged involvement in the blackmail scandal that we are all very well aware of. A couple of comments that I could just see right now, and a few family members over there saying that it is indeed a humiliation for Pakistan, and there's absolutely no doubt about it. It is indeed a humiliation for Pakistan. A horror of a track, I would say, in Rawalpindi, and you couldn't guess where the series would go after that. But you expected some sort of a fight back from Pakistan. But regardless of the conditions, regardless of the setting, regardless of the environment, they failed to challenge this England team, which is absolutely soaring right now in this new brand of cricket, in this new leadership, in this new mentorship. Everything put together, Pakistan just couldn't just couldn't be as good as the host, as good as the opposition. Yes, of course. Sabab Guy, Pakistan are out of the World Test Championship, as I was saying earlier as well. For those of you tuning in right now, Pakistan has slipped to the 7th spot. They're out of contention. There's just 4 teams that continue to be in the race for the World Test Championships, and that's Australia that's leading the lineup. India are at number 2 with just about 44% winning percentage. Percentage of points taken, by the way, beg your pardon. Third is South Africa, and fourth you have Sri Lanka. So these are the 4 teams that are still in contention to make the World Test Championship final. Australia, if you ask me personally, look like the front runners right now. A team that's almost guaranteed of a place. But remember that series against India that Australia will be playing in India. Well, that's going to be holding the key for both India and Australia. It's a 4-match series, and yes, that's going to decide whether or not. Because things will become interesting if there's, let's say, hypothetically speaking, if there's a whitewash over there, or if the scoreline leads 3-1 or 3-0, you never know how the numbers really work out then. But Australia very much in pole position as things stand. So then, a series loss for Pakistan, 3-0 is what the scoreline reads. First ever whitewash in Test cricket for them at home, and Surya Kumar Yadav will be playing his first ever Ranji Trophy game in about 3 years' time. The French team has flown back to France. Argentina are on their way. What we also told you here on the Sports Wrap is that Surya Kumar Yadav will be looking at playing his first Ranji Trophy match in about 3 years' time, and Alyssa Healy is not going to be playing the 5th T20I against India. For all of you tuning in right now, thank you so much, but stay tuned to Sports Day for all the latest news and updates. My name is Harshit Ahuja. Thank you so much for watching this video.